I discovered my teenage son has been stealing from me, but not for the reason I thought. I just found out why my 16-year-old son has been stealing money from my wallet for the past 3 months, and now I am the one who feels guilty. For context, I am a single mom with 2 kids, Jake 16 and Emma 8. Their dad left when Emma was a baby and sends child support checks that barely cover groceries. I work 2 jobs to keep us afloat in our small apartment. I first noticed money missing from my wallet in February, minus $20 here, $40 there. Not huge amounts, but enough to affect our tight budget. Cash would disappear on days Jake was home alone after school. When I confronted him, he denied everything, but the missing money continued, and I found other evidence. Jake suddenly had new sneakers he claimed were on sale, and he started declining family dinners to eat with friends. Last week, I installed a cheap security camera in our living room, hidden on the bookshelf. The next day, I watched the footage and saw exactly what I feared. Jake carefully going through my purse, taking cash and slipping it into his pocket. I was devastated. We've struggled financially, but I've always taught my kids about honesty and hard work. I sat in my car crying, wondering where I'd gone wrong as a parent. Yesterday, I decided to follow Jake after school instead of confronting him immediately. I needed to know if he was buying drugs or getting into trouble with the wrong crowd. Jake took a bus to the other side of town and walked into a small apartment building I didn't recognize. I waited across the street, imagining the worst scenarios. An hour later, he came out with an elderly woman who hugged him goodbye, confused. I followed at a distance as Jake went to a grocery store, filled a cart with essentials, and paid with my stolen cash. He then returned to the apartment building and carried the groceries inside. Through the lobby window, I watched him help the elderly woman put everything away in what was clearly her kitchen. When Jake left the building, I confronted him on the sidewalk. He broke down immediately. "That's Mrs. Rise," he sobbed. "She was my 5th grade teacher. I ran into her at the library 3 months ago. She's 78 now and can barely walk. Her social security checks aren't enough, and she's too proud to accept charity." Jake had been creating a story about volunteer hours for school to visit her twice a week, clean her apartment, and bring groceries. He'd been stealing from me because his weekend job at the car wash didn't pay enough to help her. "She taught me to read when everyone else gave up," he whispered. "She stayed after school every day for a whole semester. She bought me books with her own money." I stood there speechless, torn between anger over the theft and pride in my son's compassion. This morning, I called Mrs. Rise and introduced myself. "We're having dinner together tonight, all of us, and I've opened a separate account where I'll deposit money each month that Jake can use to help others. No stealing required."